How's it going, and welcome to Villains Voiced, a series where I go over your favorite villains that you love to hate. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the Abbot of St. Markovia, a saintly individual. Of course, there's going to be a ton of spoilers, so players don't watch this, but DMs that want added insight on how we can roleplay this guy. Let's go ahead and dive right in. And here he is, the Abbot himself, a divine being not from this realm, who has fallen here and is now trying to fix the world, but unfortunately for him, the dark powers are slowly seeding in and warping his sense of justice, and now he finds himself simply trying to appease the Dark Lord of this land. Now, your players are going to come in with preconceived notions depending on what information they've been given from other people. Do they know that this guy is ancient? Do they know that this guy has powers? The answers to those questions are going to shape how your players approach this character. And that's another question. Do your players approach him? Do your players go up to the Abbot itself, or do your players find him when he goes ahead and makes his way down to the village of Kresk? Well, the first time your players meet with the Abbot, he is going to turn to them and say, "Blessings of the Morning Lord upon you. I am the Abbot of St. Markovia. What troubles you this present day?" The Abbot is a good-natured individual, so he is going to go ahead and talk to the party. He is going to go ahead and say whatever he has to say, but he's not going to be forthcoming to the extent that he is going to reveal all the information right away. Now, if your players make their way up to the Abbey, they're undoubtedly going to run into mongrel folk. They're going to run past the guards, they're going to interact with some of the caged ones, and they may, of course, be hearing many of the howls coming from the madhouse. When your players approach the Abbot, they're obviously going to be curious and ask him about it, in which case he's going to go ahead and explain to them. The Bellevue family was lost. They have been given their purpose, and now reside within this abbey. My flock's imprisonment here is regrettable, yet necessary. They do not belong with society anymore. And he is true. The Bellevue family did some pretty terrible things in the past, and they're doing some pretty terrible things now. So it is probably best that they be left up here. He may reveal a little bit more about their checkered past, but don't reveal everything. Leave a little bit up to some mystery. The mongrel folk aren't the only people your players are going to see when they arrive to the Abbey. They'll also see a woman standing there. And just standing there. She's not moving too much, and she isn't saying that much. Your players are probably going to be curious and ask the Abbot about her, in which case he'll go ahead and say, "Beautiful, is she not? I am teaching her manners, and to dance. All that is left is a gown to match her lovely image. Should you bring me such a gown, I would see to it you are rewarded. I will raise the dead 3 times at your request." Now, this is going to come completely out of left field. If your players don't know anything about the Abbot at all, him just immediately explaining that he's going to raise people from the dead, they're going to be curious. They're going to be wondering what the heck is going on here. How powerful is this guy? What can he do? What can't he do? And more importantly, why isn't he helping out all these people all around? If your players go ahead and ask him about the powers, he will just simply explain, "The Morning Lord provides." He isn't going to reveal that he is an angel. He's not going to reveal that he comes from some other plane of existence. He's not going to reveal any of that. Now, if your players go ahead and ask about that bridal gown, or just comes up over the conversation, he will go ahead and explain, "Well, it's for a magnificent wedding, of course. Vasilka will be wed to Count Strahd, and with their union, this land will be free of this wretched curse." Once again, this is probably going to completely blindside the players. What the heck? He's working with Strahd? Or is he not working with Strahd? What's going on? If your players already have a rapport with Strahd, they may think to themselves, "Oh, this might be great." But depending on their relationship, they may think that this is terrible. But regardless of what they think about it, the prospect of being raised from the dead is certainly a powerful one. Your players may be interested in this and go ahead and try and find a gown of their own. In which case they're going to go out and try and craft one themselves, or go ahead and take one from another location. Your players may be hearing some music being played in this abbey, and they may be able to see that there is one mongrel folk that is also not as restricted as some of the others, and they'll see that this one has 2 heads. This could be their fated ally, Clovin. The abbot will introduce him by saying, "This is my trusted martinet, Clovin Bellevue. He feeds the rest of his family and ensures that they obey and stay in here." Now, if your players don't have Clovin as a fated ally, then they may go ahead and just brush this off and say hi and bye and that's it. But if they know that they have some sort of connection with this person, then they are going to understand that they need to get Clovin on their side. However, Clovin isn't going anywhere, so long as the abbot remains. Over the course of talking, and probably under the attack of many questions from the party, the abbot may go ahead and reveal that there is someone else that is located within the abbot, Ezmerelda. "Another person not from this realm has arrived here recently. She seemed extremely interested with the prospect of Strahd arriving soon to inspect his bride-to-be. She is upstairs preparing." Another sucker punch during this whole conversation. Strahd could be showing up at any second. Oh man, what's going on? Oh, who's this person that wants to go ahead and meet Strahd? If your players have a bad relationship with Strahd, this is going to be really bad. But if they don't know anything about Strahd, then hey, maybe this is a good chance to get them caught up over some dinner. And do your players already know who Ezmerelda is? In which case they can go ahead and meet up with her upstairs and have a talk with her. But if they don't know who she is, then this is a great first time to meet her. Now, this whole event can go ahead and take place as a walk and talk, or a combination of a walk and talk and a dinner, or maybe just a whole dinner itself. Whatever the case may be, after some talking, if your players have been cordial the whole time and have been honest and not done anything bad, the abbot is going to be pleased with the party. He will go ahead and say, "You may stay as long as you desire. I only ask that you do not rile up the residents of this abode." However, if your players did player things such as step on some toes, start sneaking around, maybe even stealing some things, the abbot is not going to be pleased. He will go ahead and say to them in great anger, "I must ask you to leave this place of supplication. Your presence is no longer welcome here." Hopefully that'll be enough for your party to get the hint, and they'll leave. But that might not always be the case. If they go ahead and start threatening the abbot because they believe that he is working with the evil Count Strahd von Zarovich, or if they believe that he's deluded and insane, they may go ahead and threaten him. The abbot is not going to take threats kindly. He will go ahead and respond in kind. "See before you now that which holds great power in this land. It is I, and I alone, that can bring change to this land." And as he expouts this, his visage is going to disappear and reveal that which your players may fear. A holy visage of the man that he truly is, a deva. He is going to do everything he can to try and de-escalate the situation. He's going to try and persuade them to leave, and then he'll go ahead and threaten the party by showing off his powers. But if your party still is resolute in attacking the abbot, he will go ahead and say, "So be it. Perhaps your spirits will preside over the coming matrimony." And he will go ahead and fly into combat. Now, in combat, the abbot himself is incredibly powerful. He himself can easily mop the floor with many different parties. He can move really fast. He's a pretty tough guy to hit. He takes a ton of damage. He deals a ton of damage. But also something to consider is that he has allies by his side. He has Vasilka, the Flesh Golem, and he also has all the many mongrel folk that will come to his aid. In combat, he will say such lines, "May the radiance of the Morning Lord shed his divine wisdom upon you. You do not seek to destroy the darkness in this land. You endeavor to plunge it deeper into the abyss. I have already met with Strahd, and I know there is but one way to remove the curse from this land. Not only do you strike at me, but at the hand of the Morning Lord. Your flesh is the least of your concerns, for you damn your eternal souls." Once again, during the fighting, he is going to lay the smackdown on some people. He's not going to aim to kill immediately, but if his light is threatened, he will go ahead and do whatever is necessary. And that can be quite a lot. He has a lot of options at his command. He's doing a ton of damage. He's got all those allies by his side, and he can fly all around and do whatever it takes to make sure that he is the one coming out on top. If he takes too much damage, he can go ahead and fly around a corner, heal himself up, wait for some reinforcements, and then go ahead and dive right back in and make sure that no one escapes. Hopefully your party has some way of dealing with this guy, whether they supernova him down or capture him or attack him when he is at his most vulnerable with no allies by his side. But if your players are able to beat him down and strike the finishing blow upon him, he will go ahead and say, "With my light gone, this land is truly lost." And with that, this holy figure will disperse. The Abbot is a very interesting character to me. He's absolutely fantastic. He is like a Javert of this whole play. He believes that he is right, and he is going to do whatever it takes to be right. He thinks that he's helping the land, and he is not going to let anybody stand in his way. But thankfully, the party is not natively antagonistic toward him. If the party plays their cards right and talks peacefully, then there is no issue. There is no combat. In fact, the party can get some great benefit out of this guy. If they deliver that bridal gown, they can either resurrect some of their friends back from the dead, or they can have some of their curses removed. And something I always try and push for is a wedding in Barovia at the very finale. And I certainly think that both Vasilka and the Abbot have a great place to play in the wedding itself. And just like that, that is the Abbot. A really awesome character, a divine being in the land of Barovia, whose light shines greater than anybody else, and sadly he himself has been corrupted by the darkness all around. That is very telling of this world. The fact that if an angel can be turned to darkness, then what hope do mere mortals have? That's something to ponder. So go ahead and tell me, how do you roleplay the Abbot? Is he antagonistic right from the get-go? Or is he going to be a faithful ally to the party the whole time? Is your party going to fight this guy? Or are they going to use him to the best of their abilities? There's so many different ways that this can play out, and I want to hear them all. But that is going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to all my amazing patrons up here. You guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you so very much. That is going to do it for me. Thank you so much for listening, and I cannot wait to see you all in the next one.